The area. You see, on the general election hustings, I kept speaking about a campaign manager who got almost $25 million in contracts in the last 3 years in WASA. But a campaign manager that belongs to the People's National Movement. And today I can prove it. Today I can prove it. $25 million in 3 years. Many of which was sole select. Many of which is being investigated now. But Mr. Speaker, days before the general election, there was a company that was awarded a $3 million contract, sole select. And the member for Ruka Lopino looks at me very puzzled, but I'm almost certain he's not really puzzled. The member, I'm certain, is not really puzzled.
That's fair.
You see, Mr. Speaker, the EBC publishes your agents and your sub-agents when you file to be a candidate in a general election. So, a good Samaritan brought to my attention that, and I'll give you the date, Mr. Speaker. I'll give you the date. The date was the 14th of April, 2025. And this is what it read. Notice, election agents, and I did seek permission to display the document. Election agents and in 2025 parliamentary elections. So the member for Ruka Lopino would have submitted to the EBC, his agent and sub-agents. Under the sub-agents is one Kyle Williams. Well, the member for Ruka Lopino will be quite familiar with one Kyle Williams. You see, the member submitted this gentleman, and we all know you submit people who are known to you. Yes. You don't submit people who you don't know because they are acting on your behalf in a general election. They go into the polling station, they collect the ballots, they observe the vote. So this person has to be very close to you. You have to know them intimately, Mr. Speaker, to put them as an agent or sub-agent. The member for Aruka Lopino, like all other 40 members of the House, as Barataria Sanwan is reminding me, would have had to sign for Mr. Williams to be his sub-agent. So it was published for all to see.
Would you like your other 15?
Yes, certainly. Mr. Speaker, but there's a company that has been awarded about $25 million in the last 3 years in WASA, a lot of which I said was sole select, a lot of which was directed, I will not say by who, but it was directed to WASA. Mr. Speaker, the name of the company is Obscene Construction Limited. And what is mind-boggling, what is frightening, startling, but very hypocritical on the part of members opposite, is that when you pull up the directorship for Obscene Construction, receiving $3 million sole select, 3.1 million awarded to Obscene by WASA a few weeks before the general election, awarded by sole select. Mr. Speaker, Obscene Construction Limited can be found on the company's registry, with the director being one Kyle Williams, who is the sub-agent as published on the 14th of April as a sub-agent for the member for Aruka Lopino. Then he would have been the outgoing Minister of Public Utilities. But Mr. Speaker, it does not stop there. Mr. Speaker, it gets better.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order, 48.6.
Well, I don't think the member is imputing, for short reasons. I don't think there's any imputation there.
Mr. Speaker, 48.6, the member is imputing improper motives. The minister, Mr. Speaker, is not involved in these matters. So
Yes.
what is the relevance of it?
If you listen carefully to the member, he's not. Well, right. So if you allow me to speak, I've allowed you to speak. If you allow me to speak, the member did not impute directly any motive to you. All the members said it was a directed contract. The member is drawing factual matters together and stringing those strands together. He's not drawing an inference, and the inference will be left up to whoever wishes to draw it. But the member is not drawing an inference. Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they cannot handle the truth. They cannot handle the truth when we come with facts, and we have brought the evidence today in terms of why WASA and other state enterprises are in the position that they are in. So when we are being told, where will you get the money from? Had they cut out the waste, mismanagement, and excessive corruption under their tenure, Mr. Speaker, WASA would have been in a better position. I want to tell the member, $800 million in outstanding.
48.6. Mr. Speaker, 48.6, he is now aligning corruption to his statement that he made, Mr. Speaker.
He did not allege, the member did not allege corruption against you. There has been numerous allegations, all they traded back and forth. As a matter of fact, the member for Malabar Mausika compared the airport in Tobago to the Piaco corruption airport corruption. So it is not something you could seek refuge behind in the context of how this debate has been conducted. There has been a lot of leeway. There has been no allegation of corruption by this member or any member against you directly or indirectly. So there has been a lot of that going on. So carry on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, through you, Mr. Speaker, I'm certain that the next bit of information that I'll share will find favor with the member for Faizabad. You see, the member for Diego Martin Northeast, in his contribution, the honourable member sought to give the government advice by saying, do not engage in any reckless spending, any reckless, crazy spending. Don't engage in that. That will cause a collapse of the economy. Mr. Speaker, if the honourable member had taken his own advice, then the Ministry of Public Utilities will not, and the Minister of Public Utilities will not be asked, which I'm being asked today, to sign off on expenditure incurred by the member for Diego Martin Northeast on the first day on the job. What? The first day on the job. The member told them he don't like the office. He don't like the uniform of the MTS workers, and I'll tell you how much it is costing the taxpayers. So when the member says, don't engage in any crazy expenditure, the member knows what he's speaking about, the member for Diego Martin Northeast, because the member himself engaged in crazy expenditure like a runaway horse when he got into public utilities for one day. The letter is dated, Mr. Speaker, March 18, 2025, which says, and I quote, on his assumption of duty, the Honourable Call Member, Minister of Public Utilities, reviewed key aspects of the accommodation at the Ministry of Public Utilities as it relates to the Minister and Permanent Secretary. Mr. Speaker, today I am being asked, where will the money come from? But the member only telling us half the story by giving us advice to say don't engage any reckless, wild, crazy expenditure, but committed this government to $1.3 million for his frivolity, his excess, Mr. Speaker, his arrogance, and his abuse, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, but let me tell colleagues what it was for. What it was for, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the design fees cost taxpayers for a 30 by 30 office for the minister. $60,000 for design for a 30 by 30 office. $60,000. Mr. Speaker, the member wanted a new workstation which costed the country $40,000. The member then wanted, Mr. Speaker, paintings for himself, paintings for his technical advisor. Mr. Speaker, the painting for the minister costed the country. I'm not talking about the painting to paint the wall, You know this government, they loved paintings. They bought all these Casabon paintings. The former Prime Minister was a connoisseur of paintings and art. The member for Diego Martin Northeast apparently has the same sort of fetish. Mr. Speaker, for the minister's office, the painting there costed the country. I just want to make sure I'm getting it correct, Mr. Speaker. Yes, here it goes, Mr. Speaker. The painting, Mr. Speaker, costed the country $30,000. $30,000. Mr. Speaker, then they wanted a custom joinery, a coffee station, which costed the country $12,000. And if it wasn't bad enough that the painting cost $30,000, they paid $35,000 to install the painting, Mr. Speaker. This is it. This is the legacy of the member for Diego Martin Northeast. So when the member wants to tell us about reckless and wild spending, the member knows why. The member knows why. He went in there like an emperor without clothes, begging, boasting, I am the Minister of Public Utilities, and now the country has to pay $1.3 million, and you did not last one day. You did not survive politically one day to enjoy the expense of the taxpayers. Mr. Speaker, while they were looking for a coffee station, they were also looking for a tea station. So the coffee station costed us $13,000. The tea station costed us $12,000. Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is the legacy of the member for Diego Martin Northeast. And they bend their heads in shame, knowing that they told public servants, nothing for you, 0%, 4%, 1%. But they lived large like kings and queens. The member for Rima was part of that. The member for Rima was part of that. The member for Ruka Lopino was part of that. So when you want to ask us where the money will come from today, we are being asked to pay for your frivolity, for your wastage, for your corruption, Mr. Speaker, your mismanagement. And this is it in the black and white. Today, a UNC government is being asked to pay for that. And Diego Martin Northeast smiles ear to ear, knowing that once more he will ride the back of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the people of Diego Martin Northeast. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind the member for St. Anne's who made a comment in the debate. The member too asked, where is the government getting the money from? And that the member then alluded that the government had the money. The member said that the government had the money and that we did not have the will to do the job. I want to remind the member that on September 8, 2024, the Trinidad Express carried a headline, Gatsby Dolly, the problem is money. The former Minister of Education told the country that the reason why they could not get the schools up to scratch, and the member for Barataria San Juan will remember this because it was a school in his constituency, St. George's College, that raw sewage and feces was running when the school flooded out. You remember that, member for Barataria San Juan? And when asked about it, the member for St. Anne's East, in her capacity of Minister of Education, when today she stands in this house and says, but there's no problem with money, we did not crash the economy. Every successive member who spoke opposite repeated the line that they did not crash the economy. But as minister on September 8, 2024, the blaring headline was Gatsby Dolly, money is the problem. And then said that she did not get the releases from the member for Diego Martin Northeast to fix the schools. So while they did not have money to fix the schools, they did not have money for WASA workers, they don't have money to put water in their taps. The member for Chaguanas East told us today they cut 18,000 food carts, putting people on the breadline. $1.3 million jump up in the air. Poof, gone under Diego Martin Northeast, who did not survive politically in the government. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago took him out politically from government because of the waste, mismanagement, squandermania, and dare I say corruption, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the life of me, I cannot understand. I cannot understand how a 30 by 30 room cost the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago $1.3 million. Why it is a painting, to install the painting is costing more than the painting itself. And Mr. Speaker, I am told that this was all done on the first day that the member entered. And it is here in the black and white. It is signed by the former permanent secretary. And the permanent secretary, the first day I went in to the Ministry of Public Utilities, told me, well, Minister, you know, all of this is new. So I thought, well, okay, all of this is new. Let's not go down that route. Not knowing, Mr. Speaker, that all of this was new, but the UNC incoming government have to pay for it. And this is not a government facility, Mr. Speaker. This is a rental building of 1 Faris Al-Rawi claim at 1 Alexandria Place. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the recusals, they were hoping that they were setting up that place so good that they were staying there to fill the pockets of the former member for San Fernando West. Mr. Speaker, I could put the country on notice today. Today, what I have shared with respect to WASA has already gone to the Honorable Attorney General, and that is why the member spoke about the AG talking about he will go to war with them. And the AG knows what he speaks about. The AG not talking out of VAPs and vacuum. The AG knows what he's speaking about because, Mr. Speaker, in every sector, whether it is in public utilities, they rushed. Mr. Speaker, in CPEP, Crow didn't get an extension for a contract. Western Rollins, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, 6 years, Mr. Speaker. 6 years they extended the contract of 1 Western Rollins to do their political bidding on the CAISO stage. But I want to tell Crow, you could sing this, you could sing that. When it's time to go, your goose cook and it's crow. Yes. So you can go and sing about that too. Go and sing about that too. Mr. Speaker, they could call me the little butcher. They could call me the member for Couva South. They could call me whatever they want. The facts will not change the facts that the members opposite saw billions of dollars go down the drain under their tenure in critical sectors. Energy, you heard it from the Minister of Energy today. You heard it from me in public utilities. Critical areas that will redound to the benefit of people, putting water in their pipes, electricity in their homes. Mr. Speaker, that was not invested in wells. That was not invested in desalinated water. But we will have the opportunity to talk about that. Water production is up. Water distribution is up. Mr. Speaker, many parts of the country are seeing water in their tap because of political will. It requires you to invest in the infrastructure, and that is what we are utilizing the IDB loans for. We are utilizing the human resource that we have inside of WASA in terms of repurposing them and getting them to more productive levels now that they have security of tenure. But Mr. Speaker, you have a government who has the political will and the support of the member for Faisabad and the Honorable Prime Minister to change the lives of the people of Trinidad and Tobago for the better. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.